Hello, this is Lilla in Hawaii. Just carrying on from the earlier video I did where I just showed you those plain cards that were just women, and taking it a step further, which I do, I like to make them look a little bit grungy, and so when I make those a little bit of an advanced journaling card, you might say, I print out some background cardstock usually with text and some images and so forth, and then I fussy cut the picture and add it to the card, and then add some of this dyed paper doily. So here's another one, made the same as the previous lot except a little bit further. This one, the background, I used some text as well as some other things. This one was on background paper or cardstock. These are all on cardstock actually, and this one's got a little bit of a collage. It's got 3 different pieces there. So that's taking that other a lot that I showed you a little bit further, and then to show you, I did a book on homestead, the homestead look, and I found a picture in a magazine that was I guess it was sort of like that. It was one picture anyway. And so that's how it was, like that. Let me move it that way a bit. So it was one picture. These were all joined together in some woman's magazine. And what I did was I cut it out and cut them into 3 for the buildings and then the tree separately. And I did the same procedure. I mounted them onto cardstock with a little bit of this paper doily that I'd tea dyed, and then some of them I put some words or a little piece of text from a book or something, and this one has a little bit of music, old music on it, and then again I sort of made them grungy with this that I showed you before, which is walnut ink. So that's as far as I go with those kinds of things. Then I like to make these longer ones. These are with sort of pieces I've found on my tabletop or my desk. I just don't want to throw them away, so I keep them. And I've got 2 packets of them. This is one packet. These are all the little bits I cut off things. And then here's another one. That I tried to sort them into sort of like-minded things. This has more quotes in it, and this one has more like ephemera pictures. And so when I have some cardstock from cutting out one of these, if I have some left, I don't want to throw it away, so I cut it into these long tags, and I usually stamp the back of them, and sometimes I use coffee dyed cardstock and sometimes not. So then I play with them and I make things. And this one I put a little tab at the top with some velvet ribbon, and that's the Shell Seeker. I think it's called. It's by an Australian artist. It's a beautiful picture. And then I put a little quote there, and it says, "A picture is a poem without words." So I take, as I said, all the pieces that are left, and I make them into something, and these are not bookmarks, but they could be, but I usually put them into pockets. And I've punched a hole in most of them, but some of them not. This one, you can see I put a stamp on it, a stamp off an envelope, and then also one of my own stamps. So I'll just run through those real quick, and then I'll show you different sizes because I have different pieces of cardstock left over. So sometimes I put some lace on them. I like to put these little tags on them that I've stamped, and sometimes I put the paper through that machine. I've got an very old machine that makes it corrugated, and this one. And I think that's it. So now I'll just show you real quick because I've sort of put out the makings of one. So, as I said, often I'll stamp the back of the card, and then I start tearing up pieces of paper. Well, first of all, I usually use this glue, and I put a bit on there to start with, and I use my finger, of course, and then I start playing, and I'll take maybe a piece of this, there, maybe a piece of this paper, which is old, I think it's old wallpaper, and then I've got another piece here, so I'll put that on there. I need a little more glue, I think, maybe. I'm not an expert at any of this. I'm better at sewing and embroidering, but I play. And then I've got some old French textbook that I whitewashed a bit with some white paint. I don't think it was gesso, I think it was white paint. I like to put a little bit of script on there sometimes. So on this one I'm going to put the glue on the back. So that's kind of all for that. Now, once I've got that all where I want it, I turn it over and cut off. And I just trim it. Really, it's still wet, so sometimes the scissors get messed up or they stick or something. Okay, so that's that far. Now to embellish it further, I would look, maybe I'll look in this and see what I've got in here. I know I've got some lace pulled out. I've got little things in there, which are little, like these little, I print them off the printer, very small. I don't know what size you'd call that. They're about 2 centimeters. And then I cut them out when I've got time, and I put them in this. And I'd like to see what I've got in here. Oh, my goodness. So I've got little pictures, I've got little frames. See, I've got a little picture there, but that doesn't seem to suit me. I've got little flowers, I've got butterflies. These are all things I've cut out. I like that one, so I'll put that somewhere. You see there's a little blank spot there, so I'll put that there. Sometimes I'll throw some glitter on it. Okay, what else have I got that looks good? I do like quotes and things, so. Oh my goodness. I like quotes and I like birds' nests. I like that. Here's one. So that'll do. I don't like big blank spaces. Although I know that blank spaces are probably good design sometimes, but I don't like big blank spaces. Okay, and then how about a little lace on it? I pulled out some little lace bits. So let's see. Oh no, that's too like that. I've got this lace. Now when it has that on there, that edging, I always cut that off. It's not for me. So I could put that. The problem with that lace is it doesn't show up. How about this one? That shows up better, doesn't it? Okay, so I'll put that there. Doesn't need much. So that can go there. And then down at the bottom, I think I'll put some other thing down at the bottom. Some other little something. So let me look and see if I've got anything that strikes me. No, but you know what I think I would like? I think I would like one of these little women on it. And I've got to choose carefully. Hello again. Something got cut off there. So I'll finish this real quick. So I'm going to put this lady. So that one's going to go on here. And then I'm going to say that's done. That's good there. So that's good. Those are all just scraps, as you can see. Now when it's dry, I'll go around the edge with this, and I'll make it nice around the edge. And of course at the top where that sticks out, that's going to have to be cut off like that. Anyway, that's one. And then if I was doing a smaller one, I've already stamped the back of it. And so there it is. So let me see if I can do something real quick before the thing cuts off again. I usually like to start with a piece of this. There we go. So I'll put that there. And I know I had a flower somewhere. If you notice this one, I had a flower on it, and I liked that flower. So I kept the other piece of it. I may be able to find it, but I don't know if I can. Oh, I don't see it anywhere. Okay, alright, well, I'll take a piece of this. So I'll put that there. Put that there for just a minute. And I need something right there, and I don't want that to go quite as far down as that. Okay. Well, this works. Butterfly. I know you probably can't see that, but there, that's a small one. So I put a butterfly, I put that. It's so wet I can't cut it for a minute. And then I'm going to put, I'll take that and I'll put that on. So that's good. I think that's enough because it's very small. So I'll see if I can just trim it a little bit so you do get a bit of a better idea of it. Okay. So that's another one. And then when it's dry, I'll go around the edge again with that and ink it. nicely. And I'll punch a hole in the top, and I'll probably end up by putting some threads through, some sort of twine. And as I say, sometimes I'll put some glitter on them. So these are the two I just did. They're still wet, so it's this one and that one. Oh, it's a mess now. Do you want to see the mess? Oh dear. Oh my goodness. This is how I work. I'm in a total mess. So that's why I don't film too often, because I get kind of out of whack. But I thought you might like to see my process. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.